My name is Taj Mustafa, and I'm the co-director and co-founder of At the Crossroads, a street youth support program. Outreach is what I'm getting ready for right now, and we go out on the streets and we provide youth with supplies and food that they need.
Hey, what's up? Spending change?
Do you need a razor?
Razors, yes.
Yeah. By working with youth who are on the street, we deal with a lot of cycles of abuse, cycles of poverty, and the greater cycle of homelessness.
El servicio público para mí es algo básico de la sociedad. Es básico aprender a respetarse y aprender a ayudarse.
I like to think that Stanford will be known not only because it has been in the leadership of cutting-edge innovation in technology, but it should also be in the leadership of cutting-edge innovation in what we call social innovation.
A lot of young people have a natural instinct about connecting ideas with action, but our education doesn't emphasize that. From grade school on, there's immense emphasis on individual performance. How I write that essay, how I solve that equation, whatever. Not what the group does or what I ought to be thinking about on the health of the community.
One of the great things about public service activity on the part of students is not only that it helps the helped and it helps the students develop their own consciences and moral structures about helping. It's an academic natural because it exposes students to situations that not only are help requiring, but also invite policy solutions. You work for a while in a soup kitchen, and pretty soon you start to think about how you might prevent the need for it to exist by better policies to help the homeless.
The Haas Center and its emphasis on service learning, its emphasis on learning in the classroom and taking that into the community, and then taking what you learned in the community back into the classroom, fits very nicely with Stanford's mission and with the fundamental and full education of Stanford students.
What we found was that if students were asked to get involved, they were eager to get involved, and really what they were waiting for was the opportunity not only to be asked, but the opportunity to be able to serve in a meaningful way.
Students' commitments and passions need to be directly connected to their academic studies, and we need to figure out how to help faculty help students make those connections.
Most of our cities have enough potential leadership to run a small nation. And where is it? It's squirreled away in comfortable niches in the law firms, the corporate executive ranks, the universities, and many of those people with real potential have not the slightest interest. They're not even aware that they're neglecting something.
I think one of the greatest difficulties that students face in doing this sort of work is linking the academic with the practical. Many of our students, and I think many of us generally, are trained to think of our academic work and our intellectual work as separate from reality or as an appropriate analytical abstraction from reality.
Ethics can engage the mind if you simply teach it by books. But if you don't engage a student's heart, their compassion, their capacity to listen, to be open-minded, and if you don't engage their will, their capacity for action, for follow-through, for courage, you haven't yet developed the capacities of a citizen.
The idea of a practical internship is to really marry your intellectual interests with some practical experience in that field. And we've found in human biology that students who do this have a much better chance really of understanding what kinds of career they might choose in their later lives.
I'm interested in drama that moves people, but gets them not only to either cry or emote, but gets them to think and potentially to act.
My name is Magda Escobar, and I'm the Executive Director of Plugged In. We're a community technology center located in East Palo Alto, California, in the heart of Silicon Valley. As a low-income community in Silicon Valley, East Palo Alto hasn't had the opportunity to benefit from all that the technological revolution has to offer. And our mission is to bridge the technological gap between our community and Silicon Valley.
Go ahead and double-click Spider-Man, and then all mode, yeah.
One of the things that we're trying to do here at Plugged In is really look at beyond access. So what if people have a connection to computers? We want to know, well, what are they doing with computers? So one of the very important things that we do here is we have teenagers run a web page design business, because what we're teaching them is that their skills are marketable, and companies like Sun Microsystems, Pacific Bell, Hewlett-Packard are willing to pay for these services. And it's a great way to get them motivated to go to college and to pursue careers in the technology industry.
You've got to get it in the very nervous systems of these young people. That's a part of our great democracy. It isn't handed to us as a gift. We've got to contribute. And everybody understands that self-government is an aggravating chore, but it's the price of freedom.
I'm a law clerk right now to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg at the Supreme Court. Being at the Supreme Court, you really feel part of a large public enterprise, that you're trying to make the law worthy of people's obedience, basically, worthy of people's respect. It really makes you ask the hard questions about what is really fundamental to the fabric of the country.
Community Foundation Silicon Valley is now about 45 years old. Its mission has remained basically the same, which is to build a stronger sense of community in this enormously diverse area, and to do so by linking up donors and people who are interested in the community with nonprofit organizations and those that are bringing about change. We've been giving away money this last year at the rate of about $1 million a week, and that therefore gives us the opportunity to make a real dent in some of the more embedded problems in this region.
This year, we selected Redwood City as the site for our artwork. We identified 25 sites of historic interest in Redwood City, searched for photographs, historic photographs of those sites, and installed them right in the sites where they were originally taken. In this photograph, you see students and teachers picketing racial segregation in 1963. The photograph was taken right here on this site in front of Sequoia High School. There are so many stories that are hidden in spaces that are normally left invisible. And with our artwork, we hope to bring those stories to visibility.
A ponerle pilas nuevas, como decimos en México, a organizarse mejor y a darle de lo que otros tienen para darle a los que menos tienen.
Creating alternatives requires imagination. The imaginative capacity to envision an alternative, and then to have the skills to actually make it happen.
Freedom and responsibility, liberty and duty. That's the deal. That's the deal. That's the basis on which we have to function. If we neglect it, we won't have freedom for long.
None of this would have ever been possible without the generous support of the funders, particularly Mimi and Peter Haas, who really believed in the vision in the early days and were willing to take a gamble and provided that absolutely key endowment that made the whole center possible. And then in addition, the vision of Tom Ford, who understood the importance of having a building.
you.